Hi, I'm Brett. Today I got a little bit of a tale of woe over some of the servicing that we see through our workshop occasionally. And the owner of the vehicle I'm about to show you will probably watch this video, and it's important that everybody understands that we're going to try and turn some bad into good here so people can learn by, unfortunately, what's happened. And the person who owns this car, I would say, is probably very unlucky. And what we're going to talk about in the next couple of minutes is what to look for when it comes to servicing your Subaru. And you can then use that generally for other vehicles, depending on what type of car you drive. And in this particular case, it's an STI Impreza WRX, and it's got a broken timing belt. Now, unfortunately, what's happened is the client was watching the service intervals from a distance point of view and lost track of time. And this particular car now is more than 5 years old. So Subaru recommend having a rubber timing belt, that the timing belt should be replaced at a distance in kilometers or time in years or months, actually, whichever comes first. So what I'm going to show you is what it looks like and what the result and outcome is. But let's think about what can happen depending on how you drive your car. So if you live out in the country, you do lots of distances, sitting at the speed on the freeway all the time, you will know that you travel a long distance in a short period of time. But if you travel and use your car in the city, then you'll be traveling a short distance, but you'll be in the car for a long period of time. And a good example is if you parked your car in the garage and let the engine run for a week, then the engine will wear out quickly, but it won't have any distance. But if you jumped in your car and drove at 100 kilometers an hour as far as you could, then you'll travel a lot of distance in a short period of time. So that's why the manufacturers say one or the other. And typically Subaru is very strong on that in its maintenance schedule in the logbook of your car. So when it comes to a rubber timing belt, being a rubber belt, they do have a life. Subaru did change that quite a few years ago. It used to be 4 years or 100,000 Ks. It's now typically 5 years or 125,000 Ks. So effectively, in that 4 to 5 year period of your ownership of your car, between 100 to 125,000 Ks, you need to consider the things that need to be replaced that have never been replaced since your car was built. And that is timing belt, fuel filter, and spark plugs. And that is in addition and separate to gearbox oil, diff oil, power steering fluid, all that kind of stuff. So let's just have a look at what's actually happened. And you can see that I've got here. So what we've done is the car came in and it wouldn't start. It was turning over and it didn't sound quite right from our point of view, because we've seen this unfortunately before. We've got permission from the client to pull the timing belt cover off, and you can see we've pulled it off here. And that's the inlet cam, and that is the exhaust cam down the bottom. And you can see here what's happened is the belt is half broken off. And if you look down around inside here, there's all broken bits of belt down stuck inside here. And of course, when we pulled the cover off, this is what we had in our hand. So this is the remnants of the broken belt, and you can see how it's deteriorated and then got all munched up inside the timing belt cover. And what you've got to remember, in behind these plastic covers is the timing belt tensioner, the idlers, the position where it goes around the toothed crankshaft pulley, because the front of the crankshaft, which is this pulley here, connects with the timing belt to the left-hand inlet and exhaust cam pulleys, as well as the right-hand ones. And of course, on this particular model, it's got variable cam control. So what happens is the belt breaks, or it breaks the teeth off the back side of the belt here, and then it skips a couple of teeth, and then the relationship between the crankshaft pulley and the camshafts gets out of sync, and unfortunately what it can do is bend the valves, but of course the engine will then not run correctly, or in a situation like this, it completely stalled and the car had to be towed into us. And unfortunately this client does his own servicing and he's entrusted us to give him the right information. So I don't want you to scare yourself into thinking that, wow, my car's really overdue from a belt point of view, my engine's going to blow up and it's going to fail. We don't see this often, but my attitude is once is often enough, because for the sake of the cost of a belt, it's a very, very expensive engine repair when it goes wrong. So if you own a Subaru, and here we are 2018, if your Subaru is an MY13 or older and you haven't changed your timing belt, then Subaru recommends that this should. And of course then you can go and check in your logbook and have a look at the other things which typically need to be done every 6 months or 12,500 Ks in Australia for engine oil and oil filter, or every 2 years or 24 months for gearbox oil, diff oil, power steering fluid and brake fluid, and then every 4 years when we start talking about spark plugs, fuel filter and timing belt, as we mentioned earlier in this video. So check out our other videos so you can actually see the way the engine operates and what it looks like when it's apart. We'll pull this engine out now to see if the valves, how many have been bent. We know it has bent some, but we just don't know how bad, and the owner is now going to choose to take advantage of it with a mechanical upgrade at the same time, because he loves the car and he wants to keep it. And we'll give you some more updates soon, but of course you can share this video, make some comments, we'd love to hear from you, and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter and Instagram for our other updates, and make sure you check out mrttuned.com.au for our performance upgrades on your particular car. And no matter where you are in Australia, remember we do custom supported vehicle tuning. And my name is Brett Middleton. Thanks for watching.